4 wives, what do you call it? Polygamy, isn't it?
Polygamy.
When you got 3 wives, what do you call it?
Polygamy.
No, trigamy.
Trigamy.
When you got 2 wives, what do you call it? Bigamy. When you got 1, what do you call it? Monotony.
Monotony.
It's monogamy, of course. It's only one. All right, so a polygamy as a principle, as a concept, is dated back from 14 centuries backward. You have to go back when Islam was born as the third monolithic religion. After Judaism, Christianity comes Islam. Islam was born in a tribal system, in a desert, where the tribe was governing. At that time, Islam was like a baby. We need to grow it better. It was like a baby that was born, and we need to give it very good education. And at that time, we have had more women than men. And the woman were not working, I'm talking about the late 7th, 8th century. The woman will have no job. If her husband passed away, who is going to take care of herself and her children? At that time, there was the concept of if a man can afford it, financially speaking and physically speaking, he's allowed to take a second wife, but not whatever ladies, only widowed ladies. The principle starts with the widows, not with any kind of women, just widows who lost their husbands. This is how the principle started in the beginning. And he wanted to have a decent society. It was more a social need than an individual desire. This is how it started in the beginning. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they misunderstood, the principle afterward, and they think that it's only because, I don't know, you're a rich man or you're a prince or king, whatever, you can have 2 or 3 or 4 women. So that's the social context, if I will say. The social context started with the principle of keeping the society a decent one. Because if the woman, her husband died, for fear of the destitution of the family, it was allowed for a man to get married to a lady who lost her husband. So that was the principle behind that. But we did divert from the main principle. We take it just as luxury, if I would say. That's from the social point of view. Now, from the religious point of view, in the Quran, it says that you can have more than one, but there's always but you have to be fair and just with them. If you feel that you cannot be fair and just with 1 or 2 at the same time, 1 is enough. Stop, full stop. Unfortunately, most of the people, they don't finish the sentence. They like just the first bit of it. They like just when it says you can have more than 1. But there's no full stop. There's just comma, you have to continue the sentence. Because the fairness is not only a question of money. Because if a rich man can give his wife as much money as he wants. But fairness is a moral fairness in terms of how to behave with them. Every feeling should be just. And I believe it's very difficult. Very, very difficult. I don't know if it's impossible perhaps, but it's very difficult to behave with 2 women at the same time with the same love, with the same thing. You can fair. That's why God says if you feel just a little bit that you cannot be fair with 2 or 3, 1 is enough. Because it was not a must. This is what people should understand. Polygamy is not a must. It's not because you're Muslim you have to have more than 2 or 3 or 4. Yeah, I did give you the conditions of getting married. At certain time, because of the degradation of the Islamic empire, because of the illiteracy, because of the fact of the tradition taking over the religion, we became what you call a patriarchal society, with man is always man, the boss is always better than women, is always man can do whatever he like with women, women is always just follows, man, just her job is just keeping children. This is how things work. That's why we need, by the way, to work it out. That's why in Morocco, as a model, as a very good model, by the way, of change, we cannot change the text in the Quran, but you can work on it. See? So you can find something smart in it and turn it, but you cannot take it from the Quran, but you can work on it. For example, before 2004, after 2004, the polygamy, we have a new law for polygamy now. It is still existing, but with the very severe conditions. Now, if you want to get married to another one, your first wife should sign for you. Without her signature, without her consent, you cannot get married. Which is a very smart way of limiting the polygamy in the country. Now, I would say that over 85 to 90% of Moroccans have only 1 wife. For a lot of reasons. Life is getting more expensive, more complicated. Women now go to school, women now go to university, they are more independent, so they have more power than compared to before, that they need just to subdue to the father or the mother wishes. But now it's no longer the case. Even the age of marriage, as I said one day, that is 26, 27, compared to 20, 30 years ago, it was only 16, 17 years old. Okay, so this is, if I may say, a polygamy. And now, as I told you, it's no longer, it's because the first one should sign for you. And I don't think a woman would sign for allow her husband to have another one. There are some exceptions, I would say. Some polygamy, sometimes what happened in polygamy? For example, his first wife didn't give him children. She's sterile. This is what is sterile, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sterile. So, the law gave him the right to get married. Even his wife, give him that right.
Yeah.
Because she said, sorry, I cannot give you children, so you have the right to have another one.
Right.
But either he can keep his first one, they live together, or she may ask divorce. It's definitely true. Same thing for men. If a man cannot give children as well, a good problem, a woman can ask divorce. Because she should, anyway, she want to live her life, she want to have children. Okay, that's the idea. Sometimes she give only girls. A lady give only girls. 6 girls, 7 girls, whenever there's something, just a girl. And he wanted a boy. Okay, so he think perhaps if he change a lady, they may have a boy. That's one of the things. And the polygamy, another reason, I'm not defending polygamy, of course, I'm not talking about the context of polygamy, okay? I have only one wife, I swear. Right? I don't have to. I would like to, by the way, but I cannot. Just a girlfriend is enough, I think.
You're on
No. No,
Yeah.
please.
I'm recording.
No, neither girlfriend, I love my wife, only one. If you don't have your children, enough, that's it. So I say things, and of course everything have got the context. Perhaps back then it was perhaps good, but which have one or two, but not now. Now it's no longer the context like it used to be before. And something important is that in our religion, adultery is forbidden. That might be the reason why people sometimes they may have another one, especially those who travel a lot. There are some people who spend like 6 months, 7 months outside the house for a business of whatever. So